So this is a board out of a Kawasaki motorcycle. I think it's what they call it, the junction box. But the part number is 5000-9923. The guy told me it was from a 2005 motorcycle. And I've seen online that these are similar or the same ones that they used in the 90s. You can see where there's a bunch of corrosion on the bottom that do have some basic form of a coating, where they tried to have some type of conformal coating. You see some swirls on there, but it ain't much. If you notice, this is what conformal coating looks like in reference. That's what it would look like in a good thing. So what I'm going to do is take and clean this board up. I'm going to use the rubbing alcohol. Now this video is made in 2020 and we have a shortage of rubbing alcohol right now. So this is the only kind that I can get for this. I would not recommend 50%, and especially wouldn't recommend anything that says wintergreen. I'm kind of debating on whether to use it or just use the contact cleaner, the electrical contact cleaner. But what this does, rubbing alcohol will take and neutralizes the corrosion on the board. So additional to that, you go to the Dollar Tree and you buy this wire brush set, they have a plastic one. That's the one you want to use. You don't want to use metal on it. Or you can use a nice, hard, and sturdy toothbrush. So what I'm going to do is basically, I'm going to use the rubbing alcohol and put it on the board, and I'm just going to clean the board up as much as possible. I may actually use the, I might actually use the brass one, just to see if I can get some of this coating back. And when I have extra, I do have conformal coating that I can put down after we assess the traces and stuff. It does look like there's a trace here that's pretty damaged. So let's get started on the wintergreen rubbing alcohol. I'm just going to poke 2 holes, one at the very bottom and one at the top, so it's going to squirt out. Just like that. It smells like rubbing alcohol, but it does not smell like no wintergreen. And when I take this coating off, what I'm going to do is dry this board after cleaning this up. With all the copper pads that are showing, and copper traces that are showing, I'm going to reflow and retin those traces to make sure the solder is on it, so to have a good connection point. And if it was me, what I would do before, if you attempt this repair, I would take and go get some dielectric grease. Put some dielectric grease inside these contact points here. It will kind of act like a water seal and protect anything that comes into this in the future. That I'll just take a contact cleaner and spray in there. This might be to a point where I need to take and use this brass looking one. I don't know if it is actually brass, but it's not something that people would want to use commonly. Ow. And that's why I don't use it, because they will put you. blood, sweat, and tears went in this repair. Alright, I'm going to go get some contact cleaner and I'm going to clean this board. And go from there. So this is just the contact cleaner. I'm going to spray in the end here. Usually I do this outside, but it's currently raining. So I'm not going to use the metal brush on the inside of that. I'm just going to spray it and hit it with the plastic bristle. And then I'll let the guy know to use some dielectric grease. That's what I would recommend. And then after I reflow some of the solder, we'll go from there. I'm going to spray this down, scrub it some more, probably do another cleaning. And then I'll use just my heat gun to dry the board up. See where we're at. Solder the stuff, doing another cleaning, use the heat gun, then use the conformal coating. I'll spray it on the bottom, protect the circuitry. And I'll probably do 2 coats, and we'll show you after that what they look like. And I probably won't do this up here because the fuses go into these sockets. I'll just do the bottom. And put a paper towel underneath. We already got the wintergreen alcohol. Let's get this contact cleaner going. And you'll see, so you can't see how it's got all dirty looking now. That's because this contact cleaner will actually remove the conformal coating. And that's what you're seeing. So this trace right here is all brown. I don't know how well it'll actually do. I'll probably just take and I'm going to scrape this down and get any of the carbon stuff. You can see the bare copper starting to shine through. Get all that oxidation off of it. Shine this board up just a little bit. And get over here, this side. What I've seen online, it's actually not in bad shape compared to the other ones. But it's not in the best shape either. Basically anywhere that's dark, so like right there, like oxidize. So I want to kind of get that oxidation gone before it eats the rest of the tray. I think it's pretty standard to know that you wouldn't be using the smallest power slide. But I have to say that because people are not the brightest sometimes. So. Alright. Probably use some more of the rubbing alcohol to get some of this dirtiness looking off of it. Get some more of these little points here. See if I can just scratch this back, kind of help it some more, especially right here, and right here. You definitely want to have some type of flux with your solder. You don't want to have something that will not have any flux. I'm going to just take and heat it up and kind of expedite the drying process. And I'll show that process next. You can use a hair dryer, you can use an air compressor, you can use a heat gun. This is a Radio Shack heat gun, and I'm just going to dry this up. Alright, so now we're dry. I'm going to get some of the residue off the side here. Wow, it's hot. Now, you can see what we're dealing with. You can see all the nice shiny copper. You can see right here where that's bare board. So that had ate out. And that's why I'm doing what I did, is scratch as much as possible. And I wanted to take and get it all cleaned off as much as possible, because if that continues to eat up, there would be no more traces. See how like this is right here? See how it's discolored? That's why I wanted to add the solder to it, so it has some type of something to still have a trace or a pad. Apparently this pad here has nothing to it. It's just an empty spot. It's probably for, I'm guessing, a ground of some sort. I'm not sure. Speculating. Alright, so I'm going to resolder. I'm going to touch up all the solder joints as much as possible. And I'm going to reflow the solder on these traces here. And I'm going to clean up this some more. I'm going to buff it out. Same way with this area here. And I'll scrape back some more of this. If you had like a Dremel with a wire wheel on it, it'd probably take and clean up. You just don't want to take the copper off. You just want to clean up the bad stuff, the corrosion. I'm going to take and go back this far here. The darker parts are going to be what you need to get to, especially in this area. Now they make clear, and they make green, and they make blue overcoat pins that would be essentially the same as putting the no etch with this stuff that covers the traces. I know some people that use fingernail polish, and that works. Everything's acrylic with fingernail polish, so you're using acrylic conformal coating. Want to make sure the board is nice and clean. I'll take and clean up some more of this, and I'll start soldering. And then we'll clean it again, get all the flux off, and then we'll do the conformal coating. Alright, so let's start soldering. And we'll get that cleaned up, and then we'll take and put the conformal coating on it. I'll show you the before and after the conformal coating. Basically all I'm doing is this. Just want to make sure the choices have some type of bind. I'm going to take and resolder these. And I will make sure they all have a path. I'll make sure that they all work and all that. Continuity.
Going down to here on the relays. There's more solders than that. That doesn't want to take. Alright, now we're going to come down here to where I believe these are the fuse holders. I'm kind of have a bus bar that holds them in place, because otherwise it may fall through. The big copper pad right here.
This is the one that I'm going to have to be careful about. Make sure that it actually has continuity from this point to down below. I take and scratch down here and put a piece of wire so it had some type of mechanical bond, just in case it was taken out of here. I'm going to do that right now. Just like that. The big brush bar. Let's check this real quick. Put one on one end. We'll check and go down here and see if we have 0 ohms, and we do. Good. Alright. I believe I've covered all the solder joints. Now I'm going to take and spray this down, get all the little solder beads off of it, and clean it up. Now we're going to get the flux off of it. There's the flux in here. I did forget this one point here. I will take and tin that. I'm not really concerned, but just want to make sure that we do have some type of metal bind. Alright. I can do this one more time. I'll dry it. Get this side as well. And then we'll spray it with conformal coating. I did want to point out one thing. I did miss it, and I just saw it. Copper didn't, the solder didn't adhere to the copper, and you can probably see that one pad right there. There's 2 of them. So I didn't see that until now. This guy right here, and this guy right over here. I do want to make sure that I heat it up. And after I heat it up, I'm gonna scratch it. There we go. Same way with this guy here. Alright, do that one too. Okay, we'll do another clean up and then do some conformal coating. Before we do the conformal coating, I'm going to shine this light, this UV light, and show you it is completely clean and clear. There actually might be one residue right up there, but the rest of the holes, everything on the board is clean. I'm not concerned about the top side. So when you see this board next, it'll light up like bright like this paper towel here, and that's what I'm aiming for. Waterproof this. Today we're going to be using the EMG chemical silicone modified conformal coating. I am not sponsored by them, but I'm just showing you what I use. Using silicone because this is in a vehicle and it's going to vibrate, and I want to make sure that this doesn't have any problem flaking off versus what an acrylic would be. I do have the acrylic version. I feel like the acrylic would probably crack and come off, but this has some pliability and it'll move and all that. I did the first coat. I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes and I'll do the next coat. You can see where it's sprayed on both sides. Kind of got a white milky color to it. And a very thin layer. And then we'll polish off for the next round. You can see here, now everything looks white and now it's coated. There are some spots here that is kind of thin, but that's not going to matter. It's still coated, it's just not as coated as thick as the rest of it. Now, if you're going to be doing the same thing, I would take and shove Kleenex or something in the end here because it will come back and you'll have to clean that up. Alright, let's get it in the bike and see that it works.